Hi, this is Thomas with Believe in the Run.
This is Robbie with Believe in the Run.
And this is Megan with Believe in the Run.
And welcome to The Drop, our weekly podcast about all things nonsense. And guess what? You don't even have to listen to a guest this week because we are splitting them up. So if you did not hear this week with Jeremy Rivera, then go listen to that separate. I know you're wondering, did I say that correct? Rivera?
There you go.
There we go. Close enough. If you want to listen to our guest this week, it's in a separate podcast. So from now on, we're going to do 2 podcasts a week. You're going to get one of our ramblings and one of our guests. That way, the people that like the guest podcast can go directly to that, and they don't have to hear and fast forward past 50 minutes of us,
People are probably excited about that.
ping-ponging around.
Definitely.
But then there's
haters out there.
I think there's people, though, that like this side that want to go for a long run with their buddies, and that's what we are. We are your running buddies. So
whether you want
us
to be or not,
we're like that guy. Have you ever had somebody run up to you next to you in a race and they start talking to you and you're like, I'm really not.
I think I am that guy.
Okay.
I usually try to feel it out to see if someone actually wants to talk to me.
Yeah. But I'm with you. Like, that's the one spot where I'm going to be the extrovert and I'm going to be like, hey, let's chat and be friends.
Isn't it weird how we flip?
That's really weird because
Yeah.
I did not expect that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you did that.
I mean, we'll get into this past weekend, but this weekend I talked an entire 13.1 miles pretty much, which if you've run with me, I don't really chat that much.
Not when you're running.
Yeah.
All the other times.
Yeah. I like flip. It's the opposite. Megan is the quiet one normally, but when you're running, you talk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm normally loquacious, but when I'm running,
You're silent.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I'm excited to try out this new format. Let us know what you think, by the way. You can leave a comment. I think on Spotify or Anchor, answer some questions.
People can also leave voice messages, which we just found out.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That
let me hear a voice message.
That was like discovering, I don't know, like a message in a bottle almost. Because I don't even know when this was from. It could have been from 2 years ago.
There should be a timestamp on it.
There's not.
What's weird about this is that on the other podcast we do, Fuel for the Soul, we request
really?
every week for people to leave their
Yeah,
questions.
so that's how we get the questions onto the podcast because they submit them through the Anchor app. But I never thought about someone submitting something for this podcast.
Because we don't really take submissions.
Yeah.
Now we do.
How do they even find the link to submit
just
it?
go to Anchor.
There's just a message button. You can click on it.
Wow. We'll probably get a bunch of people leaving Jerky Boys
Well, I
phone
hope
calls now.
I love a British accent or an Australian accent or even a German accent, any kind of accent. I like Southern people from the United States of America. I like their accent. So hopefully this dude's got an accent.
Yeah, so this is a voicemail from John Barker, who maybe Bob Barker's son. Maybe
Or
the Price is Right.
His family could have been one of those guys at a...
Carnival Barker?
yeah.
That's my kind of people right there.
Or what's the other? Isn't there one in like
Travis
Blink
Barker?
182?
Yeah, I got them all.
Yeah. Dog
well,
Barker.
first I want to play one from Mary Ann Angle. It'll take a second because it's literally a second of silence. That was it.
Wait, Bob Barker's still alive? I'm sorry.
Oh, is he?
It seems that way.
Yeah, that guy lives
It seems that way. It could be animatronics.
He's a little skeletal looking at this point, but
Okay.
no, he
can throw a punch though.
All right. Sorry. Anyway.
Oh yeah, did you hear that voicemail from Mary Ann Angle? I'll play it again. That was it. It was a second of silence. Maybe it was a ghost.
Marianne, we didn't get that one.
Marianne.
I'll
Do
play
you know who was Marianne? Poltergeist. Remember that movie? Wasn't there a little girl named Marianne?
I thought wasn't there one on Gilligan's Island?
No, that was Marianne was the one that people were always like, would you go Ginger or Marianne?
Who was the nerd and who was the attractive one?
Marianne's the nerd.
Or were they both attractive?
I mean, I was a Marianne guy growing up when I used to watch those reruns.
Yeah.
Because Ginger was great, but she was the dolled up.
Yeah, a little too
high
fancy on an island. You don't want that kind of...
And I was on a budget back then.
Liability.
I couldn't afford that kind of high maintenance woman.
No, especially on an island when the currency is seashells and coral.
Yeah.
All right, let me play with this review from John Barker. It's like a minute long, but it's pretty cool because it's a British accent. So who doesn't like listening?
Can I ask one request as long as we went Ginger and Marianne? Please, if you're going to send in a message this week, let us know if you're for Ginger or Marianne, and you're probably going to be over the age of 40 for this one. But yeah.
I don't get these references at all.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Hi, Thomas and Robbie and Megan. I listened to your podcast for the first time today when I was out on a run in the UK, and it is exactly the type of podcast that I've been waiting for, because it's for people who are out running, and it's about running gear as well, which, two of my favourite things. Also, a funny thing happened, because I like watching the YouTube Believe in the Run channel, and I find Thomas and Robbie's voices really relaxing. I don't know which part of America you're from, but you kind of got a very kind of laid back sort of, hey man, take it easy kind of voice. And as soon as I started thinking that, Robbie started talking about his anxiety, which I know is not funny, but it kind of made me...
And that was it. He was getting into the
I know, that was going to be good.
I was a cliffhanger. I don't even know what he was talking about.
Yeah, because the one thing that we should warn you about is you only get a minute on the Anchor app. So,
I like that he called you guys lazy.
Did he call us lazy?
Kind of like laid back?
Laid back. I didn't hear lazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's projecting.
Yeah. That's cool. If he should have put another quarter in the payphone, he could have got more time.
Yeah.
Yeah, send us another one.
It's expensive calling from the UK.
Also, his accent was lovely.
It was.
I wanted to say, listening to that, I appreciated that he was very intentional with his words. There was no ums or likes, which I wish I could do.
Well, all he did was he stopped instead of saying But you know what's weird?
It's hard.
I'm taking the Japanese app and it's teaching me Japanese. They teach you the in Japanese.
Really?
It's ano. So like I'm supposed to, like if I was going to say like excuse me, he's like a polite way to do it is say ano sumimasen. And that is basically like excuse me.
Man, I need to... That sounds like a culture I'm in.
Every time Thomas starts speaking Japanese, I just assume he's saying absolutely nothing. Like, you remember that Friends episode when Joey tries to learn French?
No.
Oh.
I wish I could say. But I guarantee there's a lot of people listening that know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well.
We.
I was never a Friends guy.
No?
So I just did an Ano guy.
I loved watching it the first time when I was like in college. And then Meg and I went through it and watched it. Like, you know how like you have a wind down show before bed or something? Mm-hmm. That was our garbage before bed. And I was like, holy cow, you can't, like, it doesn't seem like that long ago.
Yeah.
It's totally out of touch now.
Oh yeah, you can't possibly recreate that. I've actually, that book I was reading about the 90s had a whole section on Friends. It's an interesting show because it also went right after Seinfeld on Thursday nights. Dude,
it's must-see TV. That's how they coined that.
And you basically could put in any show in that time slot and it would be massively successful. But it's also like one of those weird shows that could only exist in the 90s. Like that storyline, that's purely a 90s storyline.
Yeah.
Like it just is.
But even the subjects, like they call each other names that you can't use anymore.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's just...
Yeah.
Even Seinfeld, which was super progressive at the time, was... You can't really...
You are a very bad person.
Yeah. Anyways, so we are here in Baltimore, ready to do this podcast episode.
Yeah. We did some running this week. I want the Robbie update because, as you know, Robbie is the Carnival ride of running.
Yeah, it's like the teacups mixed with the salt and pepper shaker.
I was going to say it's like that wooden roller coaster.
Dude, the teacups are awful.
Yeah, mixed with the salt and pepper shaker. Then you're talking about like 3 different...
I don't know what
what's the salt and pepper shaker?
That's the one that goes in a circle while you're spinning inside the capsule.
Gross.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't even think I knew that one existed.
It's like a Ferris wheel, but like imagine spokes on a tire, and then the thing at the end spins around.
Like you're on a capsule, and the capsule spins as the arm is spinning.
Absolutely, I'm never doing that.
It's horrible.
I think whoever came up with these, like, did they throw up on the tilt-a-whirl? No?
Let's make this
do they do you know what one got me real bad at Hershey Park? That's your hometown place. The one that sucks you to the wall and then the floor drops out.
The rotor. That's what it used to be called.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one I got out of and I was like...
They actually, by the time I was Twizzler and could ride that ride. I can't remember if Twizzler or Reese's is the taller one.
Oh, yeah,
but,
I forgot about those.
they actually had taken it down because of too many people puking in it.
That's-
Imagine puking, getting it all over your face. Someone else's puke.
That's okay. So I think that is kind of what happened. So someone, I think, threw up in it.
Mm-hmm.
They cleaned it with chemicals. And then when I got in, I could smell like it's like that Lysol, but you still smell a funk underneath of it. And then they spun us around and it was warm.
Yeah.
It was like 80 degrees.
And then that just makes you sick.
Yeah.
Not even the ride.
Yeah, I got off and it was that sickness you couldn't beat. Like I was done for hours. Like I just...
Dude, when I was at Disney and I did the, what's the space shuttle one where it simulates going
Space
into
Mountain?
space? No, you're inside, it's at Epcot and you're inside of it's supposed to simulate actual G-forces of going into space. It's like very accurate. I did.
Because you've been to space.
No, but they developed it with NASA and
Okay.
stuff to make it exactly like a simulation. At least that's what they said. And I went on that and I felt okay afterwards, but 2 hours later, I think I threw up. Like I was laying down in bed because it was the last ride of the day, and I was spinning.
Ooh.
Like it felt like I was hammered drunk.
That's
And the room was spinning.
Can you imagine if you were drinking at the time and then did that?
I can't even imagine that.
So all this to say, Robbie's running. Where is it today?
Oh yeah.
Full circle.
Let's see. So because I had kind of re-injured my calf or Achilles or whatever, not injured.
Was this
Soleus.
before the trail run, or
I don't
do you
think
feel like
it's
you
my
did it?
soleus.
I thought we said it was.
It was, but I don't know that it was never like official.
Oh,
I think it was my Achilles. So this is from the trail run. So for 4 days afterwards, it was still sore.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, damn it, I'm not doing the Megan special. I refuse to do the arthritis saran wrap. And then I was like, oh, whatever, I'll try this out. And like it legitimately worked.
You're welcome. You are welcome.
How frightening is this? Robbie's going to bed with saran wrap around his leg.
How many nights did you do it?
I did it for 2 nights.
Okay.
And then I did a run after that, like a 4-mile run, and felt totally fine. So
Maybe I'm gonna have to get on this. Nothing's wrong, but I gotta try.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be even better than I ever. Maybe something is wrong. I've been running with it and just don't
that
realize it.
could be. Do we need to do a disclaimer that says this is not medical advice?
It's witch doctor.
Consult your doctor.
No.
Oh, when do you need to do that?
When you're writing a prescription.
Okay.
Ooh.
Anyways,
Or the side effects are diarrhea, nausea, and hair loss.
that's just my everyday life. Me living, those are my side effects. But anyways, so I've only gotten in a few runs since then, and I did a bike ride on my single speed the other night through Patterson Park, like up to the pagoda.
Oh, wow.
I did like that 4 or 5 times.
So you're like that guy in our neighborhood that does that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking about him actually. That was a weird experience because I'm not in bike shape and I was very dizzy at the end.
How fast were you going?
I was just trying to do as hard as I could, which is
You sound like Napoleon Dynamite.
Like the visual that I have of this.
God.
Going as hard as I can. Pretty sweet bike.
Fair. Gosh, eat your teenager food.
Eat your ham.
Yeah. So I was just trying to do that, and I don't know, it was pretty tiring, to be honest with you.
You're probably just jealous because I've been talking to babes all day.
Chatting online with babes.
Did you track it on your Strava?
I didn't.
Oh.
Man.
But I should have. I think it was. I don't know how far it was. I did like 40 minutes, so whatever that is.
Were you sore the next day?
Not really, maybe a little bit, but anyway, so that's kind of what I've been doing and just kind of trying to get back at it. But my whole family's been crazy sick the last week and a half.
You got like dropped a bomb.
Yeah, and my 4-year-old then had a ear infection and strep throat, so I'm just trying to dodge that.
I'm wondering what he did to his head that he was able to get both at the same time.
I don't know. That's a lot. Yeah, that's a big.
Was that like a bucket? Like at school they had? Like
yeah, just like come get whatever disease you want.
put some of this in your ear.
Yeah.
Swallow this.
That's just kids at school every day.
But he's
Did
never had
double
strep.
whammy.
Yeah, strep and an ear infection at both times. So he had been up, and then that's keeping me up, and just I don't know. I am legitimately right after this is done, go get in a 5-hour energy.
And then going to bed.
No, and then I'm
He's
going
been
to
running.
run with the Faster Bastards
God.
tonight. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's basically been it. Coach is like, look, we just need to get you to Tokyo healthy, which I'm fine with.
Which
Me and you will run together, right?
Yeah, I would love to. The thing is that I know about Robbie, like I don't worry. I'm not worried about you because you can pull stuff out of your butt when it comes to running. Like you won't run at all, and then you'll run like an amazing, like goal time for most people race. So
Kind of sad.
it's not sad. It is what it is. I wish you could have a healthy training up to it and hit the line feeling good about your training and trusting the training and all that jazz. But I feel like we'll get there. I'm happy to run with you. I know that you'll get the giddy ups and you'll probably take off. And
Maybe not.
I'll either catch back up to you or you'll have a great race.
I'll say this: if I could get under 3:25, and that would be, at mile 20, that's doable. Then I would probably go for it.
That's what I'm thinking. Like when Jarrett and I ran together at Wineglass, we ran all the way to 20. At 20, I said, I feel like picking it up a little bit. Can you pick it up? He's like, I can't. I'm going to stay right here. We had an agreement that at that point for that race, whoever felt strong, just go. I didn't finish that far ahead, maybe 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah.
But, that's a big difference in
6 miles. Yeah.
He got, I think he came in at 3:29. So I came in closer to, I think it was a 3:26 or 3:27. And then, so it wasn't like huge, but it was fun to have that support all the way up until mile 20. And then to just kind of like know that you weren't abandoning the other person if you feel good. Now, chances are if we run conservatively and we get to mile 20 and you feel good and you can pick it up. Yeah, you can probably go sub 3:20 if we're running like.
Yeah, I'm just like, nah, I don't want to think about that so much. I think just running it will be fun. Like, and then I don't mind taking it easy if we're running Boston, try to do that harder. Exciting.
Did you sign up?
I did. I had to do that.
Yeah.
I got the email.
So that's the big news is that all 4 of us, Megan, Robbie, myself, and Brandon are all running Boston.
Mm-hmm. Thanks to Adidas running. Well, for a couple of us, Megan and Brandon were already going. Yeah. Yeah. And I was in that moral quandary about doing it or not since I haven't gotten a qualifying time yet. But then literally everybody I talked to was like, look, if someone wants you to be there and they have a bid for you, just take it because you don't know.
If you'll ever get the chance.
Yeah. Did we talk about that last week? I don't know.
I don't know if we got into it, but we talked, we were, the interview hasn't come out yet. Has it?
No, with Andrew Caster.
Yeah.
Coach Caster? No.
So Coach Caster, we got on and that's who's coaching you.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of asked him, well, you were more concerned. So you were like, hey, is it cool? And I expected him to be like, nah, dude, I
kind of thought the same thing.
You got to qualify. And his body language made me start to feel like that's where he's going to go. And then he told us a story about the woman from Saudi Arabia who ran the, Brazil Olympics?
The Rio.
Yeah. Rio. That she didn't have an Olympic qualifying time, but they needed someone from the United Emirates. And so she was able to run for the United Emirates without the Olympic qualifying time. She's still a fast marathoner, but she just didn't have the Olympic standard. Mm-hmm. And he's like, they spent a long time talking about it, whether she should go or not. And it turned out her going, I'm not saying that Robbie and I are going to inspire Muslim women across the world to
no way.
Shoot for marathons.
Or any women.
Or anybody. But yeah, he's like, if she hadn't gone, there's a whole group of people that she inspired.
Yeah, so her name is Sarah Attar, and she ran for Saudi Arabia, and just to give her a shout out, so that's pretty cool.
So she's our inspiration, and look, you running the Olympics is getting Robbie to run Boston.
Yeah, the crazy thing is she had to run that race. Remember Rio was like 100 degrees or something? She had to run it in full coverage.
Like a hijab and everything,
long sleeve. Dude, could you imagine that?
No, it was so hot. I remember seeing Des Linden, and she looked like she was cooking. There was like this one out and back around like a white building. and it just seems so hot. It was like 80 degrees or something, right?
Yeah.
High humidity.
Yeah. Anyways, what's up with y'all?
So, Megan, you just did an incredible thing.
Yeah, I kind of wish I had the number, but I don't yet. But anyway, we were at Donna Marathon weekend. I got to be the charity chaser for the half marathon, so I started at the back, tried to pass as many people as possible. Like I said, I don't have the exact number yet. I'm waiting on a press release from the Donna Foundation team, but I do know I passed everyone except for about 50 people.
And there's about close to 3,000 people running.
Like 2,500, yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
So what place were you in again? Third?
So
Technically, she would have been third.
gun time, I was probably like 5th or 6th or 7th or something.
But
Chip time, third.
Isn't chip time?
no, because when you have competitions like this,
You have to take the podium as the gun time.
because
Oh, really?
Yeah, because otherwise, like, say that you didn't want to race against people, and you knew that people wouldn't race you if you started back further.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
So they want the competition to be fair. That, like, if the second place person knows that there's a first place person 3 feet ahead of them or 2 minutes ahead of them, that they have a shot at competing against them. With Megan starting 10 minutes after the very last person who went, she had to.
Yeah, and it
She's so
was.
funny.
We talked about it on the last one, but the race director thought it was going to be 3 to 4 minutes, but they did 4 waves this year. So Ben and I were at the back,
okay.
and we had to wait for wave 1, and then they'd wait another 30 seconds, and then wave 2, and then they'd wait another 30 seconds. So it was
wow.
10 minutes before we crossed
Wow.
the finish line. Or
I was
as soon as
surprised.
we crossed the start line.
Because I was like, you remember when we did the 10 miler and she was like on us within minutes?
Yeah. I do remember that, being mad about that.
This time, Robbie, I made it to like mile 5 before I saw her.
wow.
I thought something was wrong.
Well, it's because we started back so late, and I got to say, we start running, and it's like packed with like walkers, and so Ben just like goes off, and I'm like just trying to chase him, and it felt like we were doing like parkour because you're like jumping over like sidewalks.
Wait,
and like
you didn't tell him what Ben had.
Oh,
The run bell.
he bought a run bell.
Nah.
Do you know what that is? That gold bell?
Yeah. I mean, it's like a bike bell, but
Yeah,
for running,
for your
right?
fingers.
Yeah, it's like wearing a
Yeah,
ring with a
yeah.
bell on it.
Do it to pass people?
Yeah. So he's like yelling and ringing this
Ding,
bell,
ding, ding, ding.
which is amazing because I always forget that people race with headphones on.
Yeah.
And
Too
so,
many people.
Like, no, like he would be like yelling and ringing a bell, and like no one knew we were coming.
Yeah.
They were too busy listening to that Pat Bennett.
I just don't understand why I can't listen with one. And
But also, you're at a race. Like,
yeah, I mean, at least like if you only have one and you can still hear kind of the outside world.
Look, I if you're going to go headphones, you might as well go with both. Like,
screw it.
yeah, just do it.
All right.
But so he starts running, and I'm chasing him, and I was like, oh my gosh, we must be doing like 5-minute mile pace. Like thought we were sprinting. And I looked down at my watch and it said 6:30. And I was like, oh gosh, today's going to
be a long
so
day.
bad.
Oh, really? You thought you were going way harder than you were?
So much harder. And so it like finally broke up like a little bit. And I remember at one point, like I heard my watch ding and I was like, we must be like around mile 5 or something. And I looked down, it says 2.3.
Wait, what?
I was like, this is the longest. I was more sore from that than the marathon.
Oh,
Like
man.
I was so uncomfortable the
And
entire time.
The course is flat,
Yeah.
but the roads and where they had to go through people, like sometimes are almost like a single lane. So getting and navigating around people wouldn't be as easy as you might think. I was actually, when we got going, I was like, geez, she's going to have to like do sidestepping to get past people.
That first couple miles, yeah.
Well, and also because of the waves, it would be like the first couple miles and then be like, oh, it's opened up. But then you'd get another like
Packet.
pack of people.
I would love to know, like, I would love to see like a diagram of like, you know how you see traffic jams start?
Yep.
I'd like to see that in a race. Like, what's the average pace of these different groups? And is there something that happens like a pack mentality where you come up on people and you're like, okay, this seems comfortable. I'm just going to stick with these people.
I think there is that.
Yeah, for sure.
It definitely happens.
Because it's like scary to like push past that pack sometimes.
Yeah, you just kind of fall in line with whatever the speed is around you.
Yeah.
That's pretty. I mean, that's pretty amazing though that you finished. So here's what I was confused. Ben Johnson ran a marathon, but he ran the half.
So it's a double loop course.
And the half and the full start together.
Okay.
So he left me at 13 and just did the loop again.
And his time, what was his overall time?
2:47.
And what place did he get? Like, if he wasn't
Third.
Was he
by chip time?
he would have been third.
Was he registered for the race?
Yeah.
I didn't see him in the results.
They
They
took
took the
him
results
and me out
out.
so that when they did the awards, people
It
were
wouldn't be like,
Oh,
well,
gotcha.
that person.
Okay, I was like,
actually ran
damn,
faster.
Ben's banditing?
I thought was crazy, especially after the Matt Choi thing.
Yeah.
I thought what was crazy is that they did take him out. I understand why they took you out of the results.
We're back in. It was
I
just
know,
for
but-
the awards.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
Because
still,
the guy that I went fishing with that one time,
he was there.
yeah, he ran, and I think he
Is his
placed,
name Rich?
Yeah, Rich
Yeah.
doing stuff.
He ran real well, like
Yeah.
a 3:03 or
He was
something.
bummed though.
Why?
He's
He
trying to
wanted to
break
do
three.
sub 3.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? Okay. Dude's been running for like a year, a year and a half.
Dude, and he was all kitted out in Tracksmith. He looked awesome.
Also,
Yeah.
it was warm and humid.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was really weird because you were cold when you stopped running.
Uh-huh.
But when I was finishing up, I was boiling. And then I stopped running and I was like, I need a jacket.
And you had a good time.
I did. You know, I went in, I was telling Meg, you remember before I started, I was like, when we're doing our shakeout miles, I'm like, I've already lost today. I'm not,
Yeah, he was a head case per usual.
I'm like, I'm not running hard. I'm just going to go out and just treat this as a training
Old
run.
Eeyore walking around. the
Yeah.
start
He
line.
literally, Ben and I are doing our warm up miles, and Thomas goes, I've already lost today. We were
Lost
like,
what? Yeah, you lose every race because you don't finish him first.
Yeah.
No
But
fear,
like,
man.
but I think I'd like, in my heart, I'd given up on trying to run hard.
Okay.
The problem was I was like leading up to the race and I would feel like I was cooking miles and I'd look down at my watch and I'd be like, I'm barely moving. And so like, I was just like, it's not going to be my day. So we run into Lindsay Hine, who has a podcast called
I'll have another.
Yes. And she's like, do you want to run easy? I said, she goes, what are you trying to do today? I said, I'm just going to, I don't care. And she's like, oh, I'm going to run easy too. And I was like, okay, you want to run together? And she's like, yeah. And then she's like, so like, we'll start off at 9-minute miles. I go, maybe a little faster than that. I was like, I don't want to like totally like, let's go out. And maybe we turn it up on the way back and just see how we're feeling. So we ended up running and, she's an interviewer. And so she's asking me all these questions. So I'm pretty much talking the whole time, which we've already said is not my norm. But it was great because it kind of did distract me. And we ended up running really nice negative splits and ended up, I told Meg at the beginning of the day, all I wanted to do was run a little bit faster than Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And we came in, I don't know what my official time is, but like according to my watch, we ran like a 1:46. So that's like an 8 flat. And it felt pretty good because the last miles were all, we're getting faster and faster. So it was dropping down into little, was it faster than marathon pace? Yeah.
It looked like it. I
Yeah.
feel like I saw 7:45 or something in there, right?
I think we got down to even like 7:20 something at the finish.
I'm checking
not
right
sure.
now just to make sure you're not lying to
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, do that. Well, that's the
Fact
thing.
checking.
Yeah, there's a Strava.
Making sure you're not mentioning grade adjusted paces.
Oh.
No, we got a 7:40 in there for the last mile.
Oh, there we
Or
go.
the last quarter of a mile was like 7:06. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
that was the thing. Like, I was like, she was actually the one towards the end that was like, I was like, I'm comfortable. And she was like, started pulling up, like getting all giddy. And I was like, okay, I'll just stick with her. And then I finished up for the day. I was pretty happy because I was able to get somewhat of a long run in because I did a couple miles before. And then we did the half. And then I finished with some miles. Megan, though, you weren't so lucky.
Well, I did the warm up with you, and then I had intentions of doing the cool down miles, but I don't want to totally blame the shoes. I was wearing the Puma DV8 Elite 2s,
Okay.
and my feet were on fire at like mile 10, like very much in pain. But I was also wearing some compression sleeves for my Achilles. And I feel like they were tight and paired with these shoes. Maybe it was the combination of things. Maybe it was cutting off some circulation. I don't know. But I was limping by the end of the race and I couldn't do my cool down miles.
Man.
And I was worried so when I did my first run in the Pumas, I was like, I don't know if I want to wear these for the half. I don't know if there's enough underfoot for me, for what I like, for my preference. I ended up doing a little over 18 miles that day. My feet felt fine. So
All right.
Normally I'd back Megan up on this one, but I think it's those compression sleeves.
Yeah, that sounds a little...
I've worn them with other shoes though. I've been totally fine.
Okay, it's totally the shoes.
I'm not blaming the shoes either. I think it was just I don't know, a weird day.
Yeah. You also said you felt like garbage from the start.
And there's that. Yeah. Like I felt terrible
Yeah.
all around.
But Robbie, one thing I noticed, we're at the ocean, right?
Yep.
Beautiful day.
Yep.
What do you normally have around the ocean?
Like a beer?
No.
Oh.
Birds.
Oh,
Seagulls. No, I didn't see a bird the entire run.
It's Florida. They probably nixed them.
They were probably after that Chinese balloon.
That's actually a good point. Yeah. They're like, Ron DeSantis was like, let's get all these out of here right now.
He probably had them at Disney World.
Yeah, they're all roosting in Epcot. Inside the Epcot does look like a Chinese spy balloon if you think about that.
It does. Now, here's my question about the Chinese spy balloon. I've intentionally not done any research or anything on
that
it
you could discuss
so
it.
that I could learn on this show. Okay, it flew all the way across the United States, right? Mm-hmm. Why did they wait till the end to shoot it down?
Well, okay, first off, what really freaked me out the most about the balloon incident was that so many people in America don't know how to spell the word balloon. Like if you were on Twitter, I think it was trending balloon, and it was just one L, and I was like, "What is happening right now?"
It's balloon.
But anyways, yeah, I guess the idea behind it was that they didn't want to shoot it down because it was the size of 3 school buses, I guess, at its width.
Look, North Dakota is where it was, right? Montana. There's so many places where you could land 3 buses.
And I think that was like the thing. It's like, what are the actual chances of it fall? Dude, people have to drive like 5 hours to get gas in Montana.
Right. You could land 3 buses anywhere.
Right. Yeah.
If they did shoot it down, though, it would hit somebody.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Do you know anything about it? Like, is it a spy balloon or is it
It was definitely a spy balloon.
So it wasn't a wayward weather balloon? No. Okay.
But the Chinese government did fire the head of their national weather service, which is like kind of messed. It's like that dude was just telling the weather. They're like, "You're out of here."
What the fuck?
Scapegoated. So he's gone.
Yeah,
but anyways, yeah. So maybe we'll see more of those.
Okay, here's my other question. They got satellites.
Yeah.
Is the balloon technology that much better?
That's a good question. I'm not that versed on balloons. So only the kind you win at carnivals.
Like, I'm thinking that's not it's modern day. Mm-hmm. There's jet planes. There's satellites. There's all this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, a balloon?
I kind of like it. I wish there was a little hamster in there pedaling along, moving it from place to place.
I was thinking more like a Willy Wonka character up there.
Like a balloon ball?
Which we don't know. Maybe there was somebody up there.
That's actually something to think about. You don't know that. Because they shot it down over Myrtle Beach, which sounds like a place you would shoot it down. Myrtle Beach is craziness.
Well, I wonder how many...
it's like...
How many rednecks do you think took shots at that balloon?
Probably a lot, probably a lot of bullets coming down. It was probably less safe to let it float because there's probably people shooting at it for real. Then the bullets, obviously, the terminal velocity ends, I don't know, 500 yards up.
I do like that people are like, what's in Montana? I'm like, all our silos.
Yeah, all the good stuff, man. Things that go boom.
The stuff that they don't keep around people.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, I did want to mention that this is not spy balloon related, but this is back to a grit related thing. One of the top guys in grit who was in the Catonsville crew, Dan Frank, he ran the Rocky Raccoon 100 last weekend.
Wait, is that Dan?
Dan?
No, that's not Dan.
Is that
I forget Dan's last name, but our favorite Dan.
Oh, Dan Rao? No.
Yeah, Dan Rao.
This is Daniel Frank. He's like a trail runner guy. And I think he won the mileage in grid last year or in the summertime or was close to it. He ran Rocky Raccoon 100.
Oh, cool.
Texas, which is a pretty big trail race. Freaking won it and almost broke the course record.
Whoa.
Yeah. Beat Zach Bitter by an hour.
Whoa.
Like crazy.
Did he credit Grit for this?
Probably.
Thank you.
In his journal, but nowhere else.
Are you keeping up on your Tracksmith journal?
Yeah. Not the last couple of days I missed because I didn't run a couple of days.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I've been keeping up on it. So that's good.
Good deal. Me too. But mine are probably a lot simpler entries than yours.
Ate food.
Yeah, pretty much. 5 miles.
When do you write in yours?
In the morning.
Yeah, I lasted about 3 days of tracking.
I usually drop my kids off from school, come home, eat breakfast, and then do that.
I like it. I picture you at a little table with a candle and your quill,
Well, it's sun. The sun is out, so that's a large candle.
your ink bottle.
Yeah. My Mont Blanc pen.
Oh, I was thinking more like the feather.
Yeah.
Quill.
That could.
You put on your powdered wig.
That's a whole different scenario. That's on the weekends, man.
Open your leather-bound book.
But yeah, anyways, I thought that was cool that he did that. Oh, actually, speaking of eating breakfast, let me ask you a question.
I'm ready.
I have been trying to figure this out.
Unless this question's directed at Megan.
It might be both of you.
Okay.
But do either of you eat granola?
No.
I do love granola. I don't eat it often because apparently it's very fatty.
Loaded in sugar?
And and
Fat.
calories and fat and
Okay.
everything.
Here's the thing. So granola, if you buy the Bare Naked.
That's the one I like.
That one's real good.
The peanut butter
It is
one?
packed
Yeah.
with like everything bad for you. But it's like $6 a bag.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty expensive for those bags that are, 8 ounces or something, 10 ounces. But if you buy the Cascadian Farms, you know what that is? It's like the little cereal boxes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's organic granola that doesn't have any added sugars. It's kind of like just
Rolled in honey
rice,
or whatever. Yeah.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And actually fairly low in fat and everything. It's actually it's like $4 for a box of that, which is like 12 ounces as compared to the sugary Nature Valley granola. It's like $6 a bag. I'm like, I don't get it because they're both granola. Just one is posing as an expensive cereal and the other's in a bag. Why is this one so much cheaper?
It's just marketing.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, you know those Nature Valley bars? You could just take a hammer to one of those.
They do. They do that, right?
I did not know
Their
they did that.
Nature Valley granola is just the broken up bars that in the factory that just get broken up and they put it in a bag and call it granola.
That is genius.
It really is.
It's like, hey, you screwed up. Put it in a different
Because
box.
I bought it once and I got hoodwinked because I thought, oh, this is actually granola. And it turned out it was just I think they even say it on the bag. It's just their bars broken up. I'm like, huh. Okay.
Children of divorce in a box.
Yeah, but anyway, so I've been doing the Cascadian Farm things and thinking I have a little angle in the granola industry.
Is it the
for a
oats and
while.
honey one? Is that what you're having?
It's like the blueberry.
Ooh, I don't like the
dry blueberry.
I don't like the fruit in there.
Yeah.
Do you do what kind of milk do you use?
Oh, I put on my Icelandic yogurt.
Okay. See, but if you were gonna have cereal with milk,
Oh, whole milk.
okay. Megan's an
Vitamin D.
Megan's a almond milk.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's
Whatever,
cool.
dude.
I was watching 60 Minutes and they had this actor on, the actor that plays he's a character actor. You'd know him from a ton of stuff. He was I'm trying to think of something. He's in everything, so it's hard to say what he's been in. And he was on and they were doing a profile of him. They're like, and he's an activist. He glued his hand to the counter of a Starbucks to protest that you pay.
Oh, that's right. Extra for the.
Yeah. And I'm like, come on. Of all the things in this world, that's That's where you're going to draw the line
So
and
what
glue
kind
yourself.
of move is that?
It's a first world problems right there.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, there's poverty, there's people starving, there's we must not get charged different prices for oat milk versus regular milk.
What happened to his hand?
They just had some solvent that they put on it, but he was acting.
I just leave him there for a while.
Yeah.
He was acting so pious that yes, I did that.
It's a weird pedestal to stand on.
Well, it's part of his big pedestal. He's a animal rights person, so he's saying, "Hey,
Wait, is it, okay.
what?
I don't know. Sometimes I don't feel like the logic translates there. I don't know. Also, are you making people? Is this converting people to your cause? Or
Well, if people can't afford to have oat milk, then how are they ever going to know that it's just as delicious as whole milk?" It's like,
I don't know. I mean, I feel like if you're going to Starbucks, you can afford to get the oat milk if you want to get the oat milk.
that's the thing. Like, we're talking about you don't have to go to Starbucks.
Right.
You can certainly make coffee at home and choose any kind of milk that
Right. Yeah.
you want to put in there. Like to die on that sword is not like if I said, Robbie, you're going to get all your finances taken care of. Don't worry about it. What cause would you want to see a change in this world about?
Yeah. I mean, off the top of my head, bring back M80s for public wholesale.
Would you
Fireworks stands?
Would you invent a glove that would help people not blow their fingers off? Would that be your cause?
No, I think it would be even if stuff like that happened more often, maybe we'd be more careful about, like, more just open to risks and things like that. I don't know if that makes any sense.
I think it makes sense in the fact that we always talk about this. Like, childhood used to be a time of exploring. Like, you went into a creek, and if you twisted your ankle or if you fell or you scraped yourself, you wiped it off.
Honestly, that would be kind of my cause, yeah. Not that so much the M80 parts, but just...
Make life dangerous again?
Yeah, kind of. A little bit. Yeah.
I like it.
It's a good campaign.
Yeah.
Start taking... all the little safety things they have on stuff. Like, no more helmets for kids on bikes.
It goes too far. It's like government spending. Like, it never dials back. It just keeps getting more and more restrictive. So until you're just sitting in a...
All right, both of us skateboarded. Both of us rode bikes as kids.
Yeah.
Did you ever wear the pads or the helmets?
No. You're a poser.
I would have punched, like, you would literally beat up a kid if he showed up.
Oh, and the poor kid whose parents made him go out there with like the knee pads on.
If he was cool at all, he took them off as soon as he was out of sight.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, that's exactly what happened. Now I feel like you're like not cool if you don't wear them.
I know. Like, what are you doing? You don't have a what's that helmet you got?
No, there's this skateboard park up in the harbor, and there's kids there not wearing stuff.
Yeah, no, it's true.
I didn't. Did I make the kids wear helmets?
You did.
Probably.
Yeah,
I mean, I make my kids wear bike helmets. But
see, look at you guys.
Actually, not all. I mean, if they're just riding around the parking lots, whatever.
Yeah, I've lightened up on the bikes.
Yeah,
I just like that was.
I don't know. I mean, I feel it's the same thing as like if you never let your kid cross the street, the first time they cross, they're never going to know how to cross the street.
Or just have any sense of adventure.
Yeah.
Like Megan got mad at me that one time that I let.
Well, because you were an idiot that one time. That one time.
I don't know. There's only one time.
Yeah,
Anyway.
that was a weird sentence.
I guess we should move on and talk about some other stuff.
Is there anything
own personal?
Is there anything going on in running right now? Speaking of.
Wait, speaking of old school and running, Joan Benoit Samuelson was at Donna Marathon weekend. She always comes.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Jeff Galloway and any other runners.
Jeff, as far as celebrity runners,
Yeah.
that was it. You.
Hey, you were probably
You're the
biggest,
5-time.
honestly,
Yeah,
I
huge
literally
deal.
in the airport. These ladies, we were getting off the plane, and they're like, "Oh, were you guys running the Donna?" I said, "Meg's actually the charity chase," and she goes, "Oh my God, did you win the marathon?" And she's like, "Well, in the past." She goes, "Oh my God," and got her friend. She's like, "We're right next to the girl that won the marathon." And so, like in the airport, they're like, "Can I hate to bother you. Can we get a picture?"
Did they know that you from before?
No.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's.
But they knew that the girl that was doing the charity chaser, or woman that was doing the charity chaser, was the previous winner of the marathon.
Oh, gotcha.
So they got their picture, and they even went to they joined. They didn't know what Believe in the Run was. They joined the
I saw that.
Facebook group and posted
That
pictures.
is, okay, so that was the same person.
Yeah.
But you probably got a lot of shout outs. I bet you got more shout outs than Galloway.
I don't know. People
I would
love
say
that guy.
No, yeah, but Ben Johnson did pretty well.
Yeah, Ben. Actually,
I
you know
believe
who
that.
probably won the shout outs was definitely Ben.
Man.
That smiling guy.
Yeah.
Smile and wave, Ben. Smile and wave.
But yeah, so
$1 million smile. Insure that thing.
I crossed the finish line and Joan is there. And everyone's like, "Oh yeah, congrats, you raised all this money or whatever." And Joan just looks me straight in the eye and she grabs my arm and she goes, "What was your time?"
Whoa.
She's hardcore.
And I was like barely breathing, and I was like, I don't.
That sounds like one of those Navy SEALs tests where you're like, they like ask you to do a bunch of stuff and then they like blindfold you and you're like, tell me everything that just happened.
Yeah.
It's like a little extreme.
Have you done some Navy SEAL testing?
Maybe.
All right. I think that's scary. We just found out something. That would blow my mind if it turns out Robbie is a like government military guy. It'd explain the mustache and his strength. He's got a surprising strength in his arms.
I did have a government clearance once, but not a very good one. Just a secret one. It's not that great. I don't think I'll ever get that one back after this podcast.
Did it get you like a special bathroom?
No. Too many people have clearances. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, we got a friend who's running down in Antarctica, and it's not David Kilgore.
Yeah.
It's our buddy Ryan Detter.
Yep.
I can't wait to hug him because it'll be the first person I've embraced that's been in Antarctica. Because I don't think I hugged.
That's a goal of yours.
It's been on my
Hug
bucket
someone
list.
from Antarctica.
Well, there's no citizens, so you got to find some like
Visitors.
Yeah, you can't be a citizen in Antarctica, can you?
That's a good point. I think if you're an emperor penguins live down there. There's a
Yeah,
is that the ones that live
yeah.
there?
All the ones that dance.
I guess you could be an emperor in Antarctica
That's true.
if you're a penguin.
But like we've hung out with Mike Wardian, but I didn't hug him.
Wait, does anyone own Antarctica? Couldn't you just be like, I'm a citizen here, and then you are?
I mean, I suppose you could start your own
There's no
government.
centralized government, so couldn't you just say I'm a citizen of Antarctica?
Yeah, but what would your benefits be? Like you can't.
A lot of ice.
NATO won't recognize you.
No, but
Nobody would recognize you. Or
You
send
would
you
know.
aid.
You would know.
You know what would be cool is if you did that and then you're like, I want to be recognized by NATO and I need some funding.
I'm just shocked no one's tried to do it.
You guys know that penguins are birds, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're okay.
Actually,
with that?
this makes a lot of sense because basically submarine robots, they don't even fly, which
That's
doesn't
true.
make sense. Why would a bird not fly?
Exactly, because their programming isn't very good. I mean, you could go kick those robots. That's where they probably test the robots. It's a cold weather robots.
Oh, maybe that's what he's there for. Speaking of clandestine operations.
That's right. Detter is a mechanic.
Huh. I don't like that. And the quote unquote satellites that he's working on look a lot like Chinese spy balloons / Epcot Center / Epcot Center was supposed to be a utopian, futuristic, like place for all of humankind.
And DreamWorks came out with the Penguin movies.
Oh man.
But I think DreamWorks is not owned by Disney.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's Pixar.
Yeah. Or no, it's not even Pixar. DreamWorks is.
No, I'm saying
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Pixar is Disney.
I'm sure they've done something.
Wasn't DreamWorks kind of like the ripoff?
I mean, I think they were competitors.
Yeah.
DreamWorks is the. It's got the little fishing rod guy, so that's got to be Ron Howard, and a couple other people.
It's Viacom,
Yeah.
which is Nickelodeon.
But the
there's too
SKG
many
is the
people.
3 people who started it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
DreamWorks, SKG.
Anyways, we can let's do shoe talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Since you stuck around this long, you were rewarded with a little preview of the Hoka Clifton 9.
Okay,
Is it the 9?
Yeah.
little history.
9.
Little history about what's in this box.
Oh, I just said it. Sorry. I give away the.
No, it's fine. Little history about the Hoka Clifton. This was my introduction into Hoka back when it first came out. The very first Clifton was sent to me. And I was like, oh, actually, I bought the first one. And the second one was sent to me. But I remember the first one, when I saw it, I was like, this thing's ridiculous. It's like a moon boot. And we've come all this way. And Megan even ran Boston in the Clifton. We ran the Philadelphia Marathon in the Clifton. Before there was super shoes, this was your max cushion, lightweight shoe that really felt good going the distance. And I'm whipping it out here. So if you're listening.
Wow. Yeah, he's talking about the shoes.
Yeah. But Robbie, I mean, look at these. Do these look insanely cushioned?
Yeah, it looks very cushioned.
Really? I think they look normal now.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, it looks normal, but I mean, it still looks very cushioned.
Okay. Now, Meg's been running it. I haven't put mine on
I see what
yet.
you're saying. I guess it does look kind of normal for
Yeah,
today's standards.
for today's standards, this isn't like some crazy shit.
I mean, like looks wise, visually, the shoes like the More V4 and things like
Right.
that look crazy more
Bondi.
cushioned. Yeah.
Yeah, even the Nimbus
Yeah.
25. So, Meg, you've been running this. This has been a long time favorite of ours. It's kind of floated in and out.
Yeah, I feel like the original one was so great, and then there was a couple iterations in there that
I love the
were
2.
less great.
I felt like the 3 started sliding. The 4 was bad. I felt like it came back up a little bit. And then I felt like it took a nosedive the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I thought you liked the last version or like the 7.
It's okay. But like when you start comparing it to like some of the supercritical foams or the Zoom X or the P-backs, some of these things, you're like, it started feeling old.
Well, and it used to be like Hoka was the Max Cushion shoe brand.
Right.
And then all of a sudden everyone started making Max Cushion shoes, and they were making better ones.
Well, I felt like for a while, everybody was trying to make them,
Yeah.
and they sucked. Like the first more, I think even the second more.
I don't even remember those shoes.
Yeah, they were horrible from New Balance. And then even Asics tried to do a Max Cushion shoe. Other people tried to do it, and they just weren't hitting. And then finally, it like came together the last couple of years. Like last year, I felt like we had several options to rival Hoka.
Yeah, so my expectations for this shoe were not super high just because of the last couple versions that we've gotten. But I took it out after the half marathon, which I just told you was horrible. So my body was feeling pretty beat up. So I did some true recovery runs in the shoe, though. And I have to say I've been enjoying it. It's it feels pretty light. I mean, it feels bouncier than some of the previous versions.
So is the foam different, Robbie?
They did say it's an updated midsole foam.
Yeah, it is updated.
It's still EVA, right?
Compressed EVA, I believe.
Yeah, that doesn't sound that appealing. Compressed EVA.
Yeah.
But I guess if it is, it is.
So, but Meg, you've run in the Mach 5. Mm-hmm. And you've run in the Rincon.
Wait. Sorry. I don't even remember running in the Clifton 8, but apparently I reviewed it.
Left an
That's
impression.
probably like
on it.
one of your, because didn't you not have it until then?
That was the first time you had it.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
And you were like,
And because we would always kind of rave about it, and I think you were like, this isn't that great.
I think I gave it a good review because it was only $130 or only whatever.
So Meg, you've run in the Rincon. You've run in the Mach 5. You've run a lot in even the Bondi X.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah. Where's this lineup in the shoe lineup for you?
I'd put this one pretty close to the top. It's not going to trump the Bondi X. That one's probably going to be one of my favorites of all time. But it's really good. I really like the updates. I feel like the rocker geometry is nice. You get a nice roll through. And I mean, I'm not going to take it out for any speed work or anything, but it's great.
See,
for
and that's
an easy
funny.
day.
That's funny to me because the Bondi is just a little too heavy for me. Even the Bondi X, I was like, I like it better than the regular Bondi, but it's still a little bit sluggish for me. Mm-hmm. I have a feeling that I'll like this better because I feel like it's going to go through my stride. And it's funny that you say that because this is what you used to do your speed work in.
I know.
That's wild.
But now there's better options. So
Yeah. I mean, isn't that crazy? And I do feel like that's the problem with nostalgia and running and reviewing shoes is like we look back to some of these great shoes and you don't realize these little incremental changes in foams and weight and uppers. All of a sudden, a shoe that you loved back in the day becomes irrelevant. I had that problem with Kinvara. I actually like the new Kinvara 14. But like the last few miles before that, I was like, they just don't match up. And they're not that different than the past ones. It's just shoes have gotten better.
Yep. Well, I don't have the shoe, but that's okay.
I think we have, Megan has it. I have it. I know Ronaldo's going to be getting it. And is it Lindsay?
Lindsay. Yeah.
We'll be running it. I feel like this is one of those shoes that I go back with like all 9 versions. So, it should be at least interesting to feel the updates.
Yeah. I think you can't go wrong with, I don't know if the price changed on it or not. Might be 140 now. I think everything's gone
$10
up,
more.
Last thing that I don't even know, this might be a long thing to talk about, but just for the podcast going on too long, but the Adidas released the Boston Marathon jackets today, and it seems to be a pretty divisive topic. What do you think?
People are mad. Like I felt like the Boston jacket, Megan's got a couple of them.
Yeah.
It's not a great quality jacket. It's got like this mesh liner. It was pretty old fashioned. So I'm kind of like looking at this new one going, okay, they're finally updating it. They're moving it forward.
Yeah.
People are upset about the embroidery.
Right. So this is like just straight screen printing, which I'm sure Adidas says, oh, we're trying to be sustainable, blah, blah, blah. It's a good excuse for a lot of things.
It's probably cheaper.
Yeah. And so it's not embroidered, which that seems to be the main stick in people's craw.
And I got to tell you something. I don't like embroidery on my stuff. I never.
Yeah, I'm kind of I'm not into it either.
Yeah, like I like a small logo maybe embroidered, but for the most part, I do not like having it. It weighs. It's heavy. It always crinkles up the fabric. I'm not huge into embroidery, so for me, and people are like, "Well, it's gonna wash off." Someone said their New York decal washed off their New York jacket. I don't know what they're washing theirs in. I've washed mine a couple times and it's fine. But, if you're so worried about the Boston jacket, I think that if you want the jacket, wear it any way you want. But it seems to be that people wear it to flex.
It's definitely a flex.
See, and I've gotten one every time I've run just because I want to have it. I feel like it's like nice memorabilia, but I won't wear mine because I feel like
a douche
like that. Exactly.
I feel okay. So I was saying at the packet pickup for Donna, there's a guy wearing his jacket, and God bless him. He loves running.
Yeah,
he wants to show that he loves running.
For
He wants
sure.
to show that he's good at running and made it to Boston. For a lot of people, there's the Amateur Olympics.
I totally get it. Yeah.
I do get it, but at the same time, there's something about it that's like,
yeah, it's like one of those weird things where you totally deserve that, and also it's like a weird thing to do.
yeah. Like I see people like on 60-degree days running like shakeout runs in there.
Well, here's my issue is that anyone can just buy the jacket, so how do you even know?
You mean stolen glory?
Stolen valor.
Stolen valor.
Yeah. Yeah, man. We should actually do some like YouTube videos just like outing people for stolen valor.
Excuse me, can I talk to you real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. What was your Boston qualifying time where you got that jacket?
Dude, we should do it. It'll be
so
hit
mean.
huge. It would hit huge. Because here's the thing. And I guess, anyone can buy it, right? Yeah, it's on the Adidas website. And you can buy, I saw they have hoodies. The hoodies actually look pretty dope. But it says like Boston qualifier. You can just buy that. Like the jacket at least is just like, oh, it's the race jacket.
But do you assume
if you have
when
a qualifier hoodie, you're doubling down on that one.
Do you assume though, when someone's wearing the jacket, that they've run and qualified for Boston?
If I were an outsider, I would assume that.
If you're
I
an
know,
outsider, you don't even know what the jacket is.
But when I first started running, I was like, oh, you have a Boston jacket, you qualify for Boston. But I didn't know that I don't even know if I knew charity runners could get in or whatever. Or I didn't know how it even worked, probably. I thought anyone could get in, maybe.
Anybody can buy the jacket. You can buy the jacket from Running Warehouse. You don't even have to go to Boston. You can have it shipped to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how many people do you think are doing that aren't running Boston?
I was surprised how many people cheat to get in Boston.
That's the thing. If there's a contingency of people that do that, I'm guarantee you there's a ton of people that
How many people cheat to get into Boston? What do you think the percentage is? Like 0.1?
I don't know what the percentage is. The point is that people do it, and you're saying how many people would buy the jacket. I guarantee you there's some woman who has a running group in Ohio that, there's like 20 people and she wants to feel like she's important or...
Yeah.
And I'm saying a woman. It could be a man or a woman who wants to roll up, and she may not tell people she ran Boston or qualify for Boston, but she may just wear the jacket hoping that people will assume.
I love that you're building this whole narrative in your head.
Yeah.
You're like, this is happening. You're probably right. There has to be someone that does that. I don't think I'm not gonna buy the jacket. That'll be my thing. Even if I run it, I feel like that's the thing where I need to qualify.
Adidas is sending me one. They're probably sending you one too.
Oh wait, they are sending me one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do with it?
Put it in your closet, and then someday your kids will go, "My dad ran Boston."
Yeah, maybe I'll just give it to someone. That'd be actually pretty funny. Just give it to Goodwill. Someone will buy that.
Yeah, you see some guy walking around Baltimore.
Yeah, I don't know, but I guess I'm not too bummed about the embroidery because I don't care either way.
That's the thing. Like, I look at Megan's jackets; they just sit in the closet, and they're more of a keepsake. And it's called. Is it a finisher's jacket? What is it? A celebration jacket.
Yeah.
It's a celebration jacket. So if you wanted to justify wearing it, Robbie, you could just say you're celebrating.
Celebrate. Yeah, that's why they call it that too. They don't call it finishers.
Yeah.
Just to celebrate it. I don't know, but the embroidery thing, I don't understand because what did they do before there were machines doing it? Was there just like little hands that would do the stitching? Like, how did embroidery go from...
I don't know when the jacket started.
How did embroidery on things go from hands to machine? That's what I don't understand.
Well, back in 1814, John Embroidery invented the embroidery machine.
Did they do very fine embroidery with hands, and then they translated that to
They
machine?
used to have a bunch of nuns with those little rings, and they would
Like cross stitches?
Yeah.
Oh, like cross stitching?
Yeah.
I used to cross
Hand
stitch
embroider.
as a kid. It was pretty weird to think about that.
Yeah. Did you make a lot of friends?
No,
Did you have a
but my
cross-stitch
teachers
friend?
loved me for giving them Christmas ornaments.
Oh, that's very sweet.
So that was cool.
It
Dude,
is cool.
It is very cool.
yeah. We didn't have...
You wear the jacket, Robbie.
I only did that 1 year. Me and my mom are pretty close.
Here is a cool thing about the jacket, though, this year. Yes, you heard that correctly. His mom and him are very close. The cool thing about this jacket this year, though, as much as people are bitching about it, and I feel like every year people bitch about it. They don't like the color. They don't like this. There's a group of people out there that want to design the jacket and think that their perfect jacket.
No,
for
I think
them.
they just want to bitch about something.
Oh, that's definitely for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like this year, one of the cooler things is it is made of recycled plastic bottles.
Yeah, or what? Yeah.
The pellets, and I love the little animation they did. to
Oh,
show
they
that
did
off.
do a video with that. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's good, right? Because,
Yeah, it's good to get those bottles out of here or into here, I guess.
well, I like drinking water out of plastic bottles, so I like when they come up with ways to recycle.
I do like that. It's just like here's waste. Let's just turn it into more just waste that stays in your closet.
Hold this waste. There's a comedian who does a whole thing. I think it was Seinfeld. He's like, everything you buy is in a degree of becoming garbage.
Right.
He's like, it's just when it will become garbage. Everything you bring in your house will sooner or later be something that you throw out. And he's right. And it makes me so sad because you get all excited about stuff that you purchase or something. And sooner or later,
It's garbage.
it's garbage.
Yep, that's a fact.
So, and if you don't throw it out, when you pass away, your kids are going to be like, "Psst, why was dad holding on to this?
That's what stresses me out the most about my parents' basement.
You know that you're just going to have to clean that
Like,
sucker
what
out.
am I gonna do with this? Like,
Get those M80s going.
and the thing is like I'm probably gonna want to keep all the stuff because you know me, I'm just like, oh, that looks like something of value.
The
You
com-
and Thomas.
they-
I'm like,
wait.
throw it out. I don't care about anything. Throw it
I mean,
away.
I tried to do the KonMari method once, and it was like
don't
maybe
even
traumatic for me.
But the comedian also said the best thing is that when you rent like a storage unit, he's like, then you pay for someone to hold your garbage for
right.
you.
That's a surreal thought. Do you have a storage unit?
No, I'm very intentional about it. When we were moving from my old house
Yeah.
to the new house, we got a storage unit so that we could move stuff in there before we were able to move into the new house.
Yeah.
That was because we just literally were homeless for 2 weeks.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But it would have been so easy
To just, yeah.
once it was there to just be like, because it is all the shit that you should just be throwing out.
Right, exactly. Because you don't touch. Although our one friend, he just uses his storage unit. I think it's almost like a clubhouse to like hang out.
That's not
Like-
a bad
Like
idea.
cracks open beers. And
No, he does. He
friends
just like I
over.
think he smokes his like keeps his weed there and just
I mean, if you
Goes and
didn't
hangs
like
out.
your marriage, you could be like, I've got to go to the storage unit and do some work.
yeah.
And then you just unfold your chair and pull out your cooler.
I bet that's a lot of people do that. I think
I'll bet you there's whole men's clubs in there.
definitely.
It's just like, hey, Fred, you coming next week? Yeah. Dude.
I get it, man. There's a need for a clubhouse in every phase of life.
Yeah. But yeah, then you pay someone else to hold your garbage for you. But I was intentional that as soon as we moved into the new place, I made sure I had that thing cleared out and closed down. And
Yeah.
because I think it's so easy. It's like a subscription to a service that
It really is.
if you don't think about, you would
Yeah.
just rack it up.
I mean, that's part of why I like living in a small row home is that just it forces you to get rid of stuff. I don't do it that well, but there's
Does Kimmy help?
a limit. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So like we're pretty good about just getting.
No, I'm saying like Megan yells at me. She'd be like, just throw that out.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've gotten better. When I was like 10 years ago, probably I was very into like going to thrift stores and just getting cool shit, or in my mind.
Trash.
And Kimmy was like, "Stop."
Stop.
She keeps trying to throw out this one chair I have, and it's like, you're never throwing this out. Stop like putting it places that you think it's gonna leave the house. It's my favorite chair. It's a weird thing, but it is. It's like a wooden, like old school, like wooden folding chair.
Okay.
I can't explain it, but it's like the most comfortable chair ever. It's like if I go camping, even though it's clunky and totally not
Bring it with
packable, like I have to bring it. I don't understand why it's so comfortable.
So it's coming to Japan?
Maybe it might fit in those Ortlieb bags that we got.
Those things are huge, man.
Yeah.
Robbie, you've been storing yours here.
Well, I want to do a video with it, and we haven't done it yet.
I know we got to stuff them full of something
Yeah, we got Ortlieb bags. So if you're
from
looking
Germany.
for good luggage, it's gonna be sick. All right, I don't know. We should probably wrap this up.
We should.
Yeah.
So this is our first foray into breaking out the podcast. Probably went a little long, but that's okay, right?
It just depends how long person's run is. Like, did they enjoy this for their run?
Hopefully
or
you
not?
brought us on your long run and we got you through the first half or something. First 3/4. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see.
I got a 21 miler this weekend. I'm kind of a little nervous about it. Just seems like such a long time.
That's a big boy right there.
That is, but we're getting close. I guess, and I only have like 2 more weekends of long runs, and then
This Sunday will be 3 weeks out from Tokyo.
so I'm going to do a long run this weekend, probably a shorter long run, and then taper.
I think I'm gonna ramp right into it, New York City style.
It worked for you.
Yeah.
I mean, 80 degrees heat.
I don't even understand why you need. I get it. I kind of understand when you need a 2-week taper after like 12 weeks of hard training.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've had 3 tapers in the last 3 weeks, so I feel
Yeah,
like
you just keep
I
going.
don't
at
really
this point.
need a taper.
Yeah, no, you're good.
You're good.
Yeah.
You go ahead. All right, so let's wrap it up. Anybody that you want to thank this week, Megan? Anybody special?
Thanks to all the listeners.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in every week. I can't believe you're actually still here.
Psychos.
Yeah, thanks to Brandon for putting this together again, and now doing kind of double the work. It's about regular work.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks to him. And we're really excited. We brought in a new member to the team in the last
Yeah.
week. We
Helen.
have Helen, who has joined the team. Very exciting. She seems cool so far, but you don't know. She could go psycho in a couple days.
Yeah.
But
Helen Hunt.
yeah,
It's not her name.
No. But
people don't need to know her last name
no.
yet.
Plus, we can't pronounce it. So
Yeah, Chimera.
I knew Thomas was going to. I was like, wait 5 seconds. Thomas will say it.
Chimera ding dong.
All right.
Chim Chimera. Okay.
Chim. Oh, that's a little Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Um,
Chimney.
All right.
All right. Say goodbye to your mom.
Hi, Mom.
All right, there we go.
All right. Bye.